Amanda part of the audience?
All right.
Is everyone else here, Judd, muted, like underwater?
Yeah.
No,
Oh yeah, funny, like a big.
He's
All right.
bubble.
like
All right, we ready?
Yeah.
Good. All right, calling the meeting to order. Anna, please call roll.
Fine.
Here,
Wait a minute, Steve's coming in. Comet,
Yeah. Here.
Vincent,
Here.
Perry,
Here.
Silver,
here.
Duber.
I'm here. I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report of fiscal year 2020 through July 2020. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Dana, if you would please.
Good evening, everybody. Okay, you have the cash account summary for July 31st, showing we had cash of $8,327,902.32. Our total revenues for all funds was just over $710,000. Our July expenditures were $895,700 approximately. And on our revenue and expenditure detailed report, you can see the income tax. It was picked up in August. We'll talk about that when we get to the tax administrator's report. The lodging admissions tax I separated out. That was discussed at the last meeting. And some of the reason why we have a larger decrease compared to last year is that in 2019, we also had a lot of 2018 collections that had picked up as a result of Pinecrest and getting all of them on board and collecting. So we actually had a lot more than 1 year last year worth of
Again, this is only through July. We
Yes,
shouldn't focus on the income until we get to the August statement.
Anna, are you, is this recording?
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah, it's recording.
Oh, okay. I just didn't see a button that says it's recording. Okay, anyways. Sorry.
And all the other variances for the expenditures are just the timing differences, same as last, nothing new to report there.
All right.
That's all I had on that.
Anybody have any questions on the treasurer's report? All right. If you would call roll on that, please.
Yes,
Anna, you're muted.
I got it. Klein,
yes,
Comet,
Yeah.
Vincent,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes. I'll make a motion to approve the tax administrator's report for August 2020.
I'll make a motion.
I already made a motion, but you can second it.
I'll second it.
Hey, thanks. And welcome back, Lisa.
Thank you.
Hi, Dana, if you would please
Hi.
go over the tax administrator's report.
The tax administrator report is for the month of August. And as I had told you last month, we were anticipating having a really nice August because of the July filing deadline. And we are about $500,000 more than August of the prior year. Year to date, we're still down around $300,000. Primarily, most of that has to do with the net profits. A lot of the businesses are not doing as well as last year, and they're getting refunds of estimated tax payments. So if you look at the third column, the net profit line, you'll see year to date 2020, we're at 97,000 compared to the same period of time as last year, we were at 268,000. So we're down about 171,000 on net profits. And we're still down a little bit on wage withholdings. But I did check yesterday on collections for September, and we're right around where we were last year. So I'm not seeing a huge spike in the September collections yet, but they still have about a week to go for collections. So we'll see how that ends up when I give you the report next month. And then you can see the huge jump on the graph that I had given you. Mine has a smiley face, yours doesn't. But you can see we did spike up pretty well there for August, which was good to see that we're finally catching up.
Great.
That's all I have for you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Dana? All right. If you would call roll then, please.
Stein,
Yes.
Comet, Vincent,
Yes.
Harry,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes. And moving on, discussion of the bills to be paid in the month of September in the amount of $233,829.23, and additional August expenses in the amount of $88,567.27. Does anybody have questions or comments on the bills? No. All right. No, let's move on. I will make a motion to authorize the expenditure not to exceed $30,000 for paving of the Orange Village Park trails. Is there a second?
I'll
Second.
second it.
Oh, who was that? I missed it.
I think that was maybe Judd, but I'm not sure.
It was Judd and Lisa.
Give it to Judd.
Judd, you can have this one, Lisa, it'll last.
Thank you.
Mr. Zugan, would you like to
Yeah,
comment, weigh in?
yeah, sure. For anybody that walks the park trails, you can see we have some areas through the park that the asphalt is actually in poor condition. You know, it's time to give it a facelift. So my proposal is I've given an estimate there of the amount of asphalt needed, and we will try doing this process like we did around the playground, which was very successful, where we subbed out rental of a paver and an operator, and we provide all the labor and trucking. As you can imagine, the difficulty is getting all the stuff back through the trails because it is wooded there. So it's ideal for us to be using our equipment to get it back in there.
Mr. Zugan,
Yep.
could you answer when the last time was that we paved these trails?
Most of it's all original. This is be the first overlay that we've ever done. So some part of the trail is newer. I've done, the estimate is for the entire trail. And I've also given a contingency there, but, you know, this is going to be, I'm looking for the approval.
We have over 400,000 in the 406 account that is uncommitted for.
Was this
We're holding
budgeted
on to it.
this year?
What?
Was this budgeted for this year?
It was one of the items that we had that was going to be up for discussion between myself and the mayor. So I'm suggesting to do this. The big thing is it's going to be weather dependent. Obviously, if it rains and starts turning into a nasty fall, getting the equipment back there is going to be challenging. So the other thing that we found out is cart path pavers. There's hardly anybody that has these around here anymore. So I'm very limited on the accessibility. The company that we did around the playground with no longer has their cart path paver. The unit that we're going to rent is actually the contractor that just completed this year's asphalt program at the Muni Center.
I've been in the park a lot lately, and I would agree that it needs to be done personally.
I have a question and a comment. The comment's just to delineate the difference. When we say trails, we're also used to now the new trails. This is strictly the park, within the park itself, correct?
Correct.
And then I saw that you're using a parent contractor for this. Do we have to procure bids for this, or this is just something that, like, I'm just curious?
It's within the spending authority of council without going to bid.
Yep. And I reached out to a couple. I mean, right now Specialized is in the hunt for one. But right now the only contractor I had that had the cart path paver available was Perrin.
So Bob, the service department will be doing the work. You're just renting the equipment. Is that all?
Yeah, we'll use our roller that we share with Moreland Hills and Pepper Pike. We'll be doing all the trucking using our equipment. My guys will be running the asphalt back there, and we'll be doing the labor. So we get one operator and the cart path paver.
You think it's only a 4-day job?
No, I'm hopeful.
Okay.
Be efficient.
Yeah.
Good. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Thank you, Mr. Dugan.
Yep.
Anna, if you would call roll, please.
Klein,
Yes.
Comet,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Harry,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Duber.
Yes. Moving to the audience comments relating to agenda items only. Anyone? Okay. Old business, ordinance 2020-15 and ordinance amending section 933.01B to revise the fees to be charged to residents and non-residents for emergency medical services, repealing certain ordinances, declaring emergency. This is on for second reading. I think everybody should have received from Dana the ambulance billing analysis recommendation. If you didn't receive that, please speak up. Dana, do you want to discuss this anymore a little bit now that we have this in front of us?
Sorry. Yes, Chief Wilson did obtain information from about 24 communities as to what their fees are for the 3 categories, the ALS2, ALS, and the BLS, which are the various types of services that are provided by the ambulance, as well as the mileage rate. So he provided me the data. I came up with what the average was and determined where we kind of fell with our increases. So the 450, which is the basic services, would be increased to 550. The ALS is currently at 550, would go to 650, and the ALS2 is currently at 700, and it would go up to 750. The mileage is $10 per mile, and it's recommended to go up to $12 per mile. I'll save the
And
other
again-
comments I have for the next.
And again, just to remind everyone, this is the amount that gets billed to everyone to the extent that our residents and employees and people living in and working in the village do not have insurance coverage. They don't pay out of pocket. We do go after the out of pocket for non-residents. But we also, the reimbursement rates have gone up since we last passed this in 2008, right?
That's correct. It was 2008. So by increasing the fees, it allows us to get more of the insurance dollars. So from the insurance companies, we would get more of that money than leaving it on the table.
I have a question maybe for Bob. Who decides where the patient will be transported? Does the patient decide that, or do we automatically go to the closest facility?
It all depends on the call. I would say 90% of the time, the patient decides where they want to go. If it is, for lack of a better term, a true emergency, then we'll go to the closest facility that is appropriate. If it's a trauma, we take them to Hillcrest. You know, if it's chest pains or something like that, we'll go to Ahuja. But most of the time, the patient determines where they want to go.
And are they, I mean, this is silly if they're in an emergency, but are they made what the cost would be if they go outside? You know, we're talking about the $12 per mile outside the municipal court
No.
limits.
I bet no, I wasn't. When I took an ambulance ride, nobody told me about the mileage. But again, none of it comes out of my pocket.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had anybody ask what the mileage cost is.
Yeah, I mean, it just like that could be if they say, oh, I want to go to main campus Cleveland Clinic, all of a sudden it's, I don't know.
They're not going to pay it.
Well, we also decided to take the fare meter out of the ambulances too.
That was a good thought.
The way I would look at it is what a great service that our department still provides the choice of, you know, hospital,
Absolutely.
which is still pretty great. But I don't think people are shopping it at that moment.
I'd like to make a motion.
Yeah, but when you call for 911 and you get an ambulance, you want the ambulance. You're not.
Yeah,
It's
most
just
people
fair.
don't ask
What
the
we're doing is
cost.
fair.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules to pass this ordinance tonight.
Second.
Thank you. Anna, if you call a roll on suspension, please.
Klein,
Yes.
Comet,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Silver. Silver. Brent,
He's frozen.
he's
Frozen.
frozen. Okay. Tuber,
Yes.
we'll come back to Brent when he comes back on. I was gonna say, he's not moving.
Well, the motion passed to suspend either way, so we can get his bill
Right.
after his. And then I'll make a motion to pass the ordinance.
I'll
Second.
second it.
Thank you.
Sorry, Judd.
No problem, Lisa. You don't have to fight over such things.
Okay.
All right, and Anna, can you please call roll on, I'm sorry, are there any other comments on this? Brent, do you have any?
Frozen.
It's his
Frozen
chance.
time.
A bit of a disbelief.
We talk about him right now?
Okay.
All right,
Clark,
if there's no
wait a
other
minute.
comments, Anna, you could call roll, please.
hold on, Brent's coming in on a phone. Okay. Klein,
Yes,
Comet,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Carrie,
Yes.
Silver, but it looks like he's muted right now. If that's him.
He's still.
409-0808, who's that?
I'm assuming that's Brent calling in.
Yes.
No,
Is that his phone?
they're muted, whoever it is.
Brent, if you can hear me and you want to run down here, you can finish the meeting here if you want.
Okay, Duber, did you answer Brandon?
All right, that's me. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, he's here. Okay. Brandon, you want to fill him in on what you hear?
Oh, yeah, so Brent, are you, do you agree are you a yes on suspension of the rules to pass this?
Yeah, I could hear everything. You just couldn't hear me. So yeah.
Oh, good thing we didn't talk about him then. Huh, Brent?
All right,
So then,
and
for
then,
passage,
and then for passage, are you a yes?
Yes, I am. Sorry about that.
that's
No,
okay.
you're fine.
Unstable
I'm-
internet.
I'm a yes if you didn't get me, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good stuff. Moving on to new business, resolution 2020-5, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a delinquent debt collection agreement with the Ohio Attorney General. I will make a motion if any seconds.
second,
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Klein. Sorry, Stacy, we beat you. Mayor, do you
I
want
vote
to?
I'm gonna let Dana talk. She negotiated this.
All right,
Life Force Management handles our billing, and we have a law firm that handles things for collections once they go through the process at Life Force and they're still not paying. And from 2016 to 2019, the law firm collected just over $2,400 towards these uncollected. And keep in mind, they're hard ones to collect.
Do we know what amount is outstanding?
I don't have that on me right now, but I
Okay.
do know we have 73% of our bills that were sent out last year were non-residents and 27% are residents. So if you can imagine, they're non-residents, they're not local, it's harder to track some of them down and get them. So these are the harder ones to collect. There was a total of almost 560 trips that were taken. So in looking at how we can better go after some of these collections, the Attorney General has a program, a collection program that I think when you guys looked at this in with this company, I think it was in 2015, the Attorney General was really new in this program. So it was something that was looked at, but because it was new and they weren't sure they were going to stay in this business, it wasn't considered at that time. It was, and then you chose to go with the private route. But they have stayed in the business and they are pretty successful. And what they do is the Attorney General takes it over. It costs us nothing, whereas in our current program, we pay a fee. This one, the fee is passed on to the person that owes us. So it costs Orange Village nothing. They also can go after tax refunds and get us money that way. So we thought we would give them a shot, So that is where we're going. Life Force says they have a lot of other clients that use the service and are very happy with it. So we thought that we would try giving them that option.
Hey, Dana, I have a question. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, good. Do we know how much approximately per year we bill out in ambulance charges and how much goes to collection and how much we collect and things like that?
Well, doing this from home, I don't have access to all that
We have
information
it
here.
though.
Okay.
I do have it. My assistant gets all of those reports. I'm trying to see if I have something in here on that.
Do you need that to make this decision? Because we certainly can gather that data.
No, I wouldn't say I need to make the decision. I was just curious. Like ballpark, does anyone know how much we collect in ambulance fees in a year?
Well, we budgeted about 150.
Okay.
But
I think there's
right, Wilson? We pretty much hit it.
If you want, you can wait a couple minutes. I can run and grab my iPad. I probably have last month's online. You'd like me to do that?
If you have it handy, great. I mean, it's not going to impact my decision.
Give me one second.
I was just curious.
We can get back to that.
Yeah.
So we can wait to vote on that if the chief is going to grab it. So, oh, back already. Should we wait a minute, chief, and we'll see how quick he is under pressure.
Now he'll hear you.
Oh, yes, headphones in.
We're seeing how good he is under pressure situations.
Of course, it's password coded.
He's a
We're only
firefighter.
waiting on you,
Under
don't worry about
pressure.
it.
We could play the Jeopardy theme song.
Okay, so for 2019, we collected $149,152. 2018, we collected $146,579. And year to date this year through July, we've collected $84,722. Now, we've billed for this year $141,316 so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, that was quick.
Yeah, I'm impressed, Wilson.
That's the iPads. I got a lot of them working here.
I'm sorry, did you say what percentage, generally speaking, that we collect on it? Or
I do not know that without figuring that out.
Yeah, and I think we'd want to do that over a longer period of time than 1 month.
No, I'm not saying 1 month. I'm just saying in
Last
general
year.
for it.
So if you want to do the math, 2019, we billed 291,000 and we collected 149,000. So
That's about 50%.
I was gonna say a little bit better than 50% of what Life Force collects.
Yeah, well, but it'd be interesting to see how much goes uncollected and how much is is not expected to be gotten.
Yeah, you might want I want to go back. I'll double check those numbers and see if I can send a summary to council, because I don't know how much of it is written off as the usual customary charges that are written off when you go between what they bill and what insurance companies pay. So
Yeah,
some
so
of
it
that
looks like about 100,000 last year, 107,000 of credit adjustments. So that would take it to 249, 255 out of the 290 was either written off or paid.
All right.
85%.
Anybody else have any questions? Does that answer all your questions on this, Brent?
Yep. Thank you.
All right. If you would then call roll, please.
Klein,
Yes.
Comet,
Yep.
Vincent,
Yes.
Harry,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Huber.
Yep. Move on to audience comments relating to matters which advance good to the village. Is there anybody? Okay. Mayor comments?
Yes, I'd like to remind the viewing audience and the public who is watching this tonight that there are still a few more days left to get your council application in. Be part of all this fun. Get your application in by Monday at 4. I'll just remind everyone that there are a lot of scam alerts going on with the utility disconnect scams, and don't give your social security number or banking info out over the phone to anyone who calls you. And the utilities do not accept gift cards or money wires anyways. I'm supposed to say, do not call back the number they leave. Look up your utility company and call them back with that number. And as always, feel free, please call the police department if you are suspicious. The next round of branch chipping begins this Monday, September 14th. Please don't forget to complete the census. The second wave of CARES Act funds that have gone through the state is going to be released. The state got $1.2 billion in the CARES Act that passed months ago. They only authorized about 300 and some million of it to get passed through to communities. And now they're putting out another round. And in the first round, we got about 28,000, just a little under. And this time we are getting about $118,000. And I will be on a seminar tomorrow where they're going to be discussing what qualifies to be reimbursed for that in that money. And so we don't necessarily have to refund any if we've been able to absorb it by the allowable expenses. And finally, if any of you council people have any relationships with anyone on the Woodmere Village Council, I would encourage you to please reach out tomorrow or as soon as you can. My understanding given to me by the mayor of Woodmere is that the situation they are in is they have $265,000 in grants that have been approved, that they have claimed to make the connection between our border and Chagrin. So this, whether they do it or not, is the difference between whether all of our residents can get safely to Chagrin, coast north of Waterford Court. Well, according to the mayor, for reasons that are sort of inexplicable, and he sent me dozens and dozens of pages of documents, apparently the council has tabled this. They really have only another few weeks in order to not lose 50,000 of the 265. I don't want to speculate on what other people might be thinking that don't do what seems so obvious to me, but I encourage somebody to reach out. They're voting. The mayor hoped that it would come off the table tonight, get voted on. He wasn't sure. And so if tonight he texts me or tomorrow and says it passed, then this is off or not. But if not, then we need to mobilize, because if we want our community to connect to Chagrin, this is a one-time shot and they've got it all. And if they don't do the trails, they can't use that money for anything else. It goes back. So
Their reservation.
I asked what they'll get. There's a lot of control power issues going on.
So this is just for connecting the recreational trails to Chagrin Boulevard, not anything with the street at all. With the street.
No, this is, I don't know if I heard what you asked. It's to continue what we have up to Chagrin.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
What?
They've also done this with other things, and Amanda nodding her head that she knows the situation there is inexplicable.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
And there's not even like a large impact on anybody's yard going that
That
way.
isn't what's stopping them. The mayor, I said, what's the legitimate excuse why they're not doing it? And he said, the only thing that has been said that falls into that category is because of COVID-19, cutting back on spending money.
But it's not money that could be used for anything else.
Right, that's how I understand it. That's how all his documents indicate it. That's what he explained to me. Let's talk tomorrow.
That's an embarrassment on their part if they don't do this. I think it's shameful of Woodmere if they don't go ahead and do this.
It would
I
be
think
nice to understand what the objection could possibly be, because it's now or lose it. I will let our residents know if we need.
It's very nice of them to not provide that service for their residents. That makes absolutely no sense. If there's really no rationale, that's just plain stupidity.
And that completes my comments for tonight.
It really is, because you see a lot of people walking in the street on that stretch of Brainerd a lot too.
I don't think they're debating whether to have it or to not have it. I don't think it falls to that.
Yeah.
Woodmere obviously doesn't care about their residents in the way that we do here in Orange. Sounds kind of plain and simple. So, all right. Is that all your comments, Mayor?
That completes my comments. Thank you.
Okay. All right. My only comment is just a reminder of the interviews on the 22nd. And Anna, how many applicants do we have thus far? 5. So there's still a little time to get some more. We will finalize everything in terms of what time we're starting. I guess kind of plan on around 6 o'clock. I'll send something out prior to about format. It's going to be what we've done before, where everybody can ask questions, follow up questions, and stuff like that. But it'll be pretty plain and simple. I'll talk to everybody in the next week or so once we have some stuff finalized. Okay. So we'll do that. And that's really my only comment aside. Oh, also the trails, by the way, on Miles are fantastic.
Oh, don't they look great?
It's great. It really is. It's better than could be expected, even seeing everything else. I mean, they've really done a good job. So.
And do you see the use
Yeah,
of these things?
No, everyone likes to walk.
Yeah, but no, I think.
What did they do before this?
I saw skateboarders on it today. That was really sweet.
Motorized?
No.
We have to think about extending these further when our budget allows us.
Yeah, let's get through COVID. What else are we doing still on the trails, Bob? Where else are we pretty much done at this point?
Well, we had the 2 tails that go into Orangewood. Isn't that, the first 100 feet from this main street from Lander and Harvard into Orangewood I think they go 100 feet in.
Oh.
We were delaying that, non-performing at the moment, and while we consider the advancing of the trails in Orangewood, because right now, without the advancement of trails in Orangewood, the trail leg was going to be like on the north side.
Yeah, it's gonna be on different sides.
Drive coming off of Lander Road, so there's some obstacles there. So we have told the contractor that we're holding off on those. So we will talk once they get done with Miles, and we'll have some information from the mayor on what our exact expenditures are and what we can anticipate as what we have remaining in that $5 million.
Okay.
But those are the only 2 pieces that I recall remain outstanding of the.
Well, there's a piece on Harvard in front of a house that we non-performed while they were building it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
There's probably some other
Well,
items.
and the other.
You just muted yourself, Bob.
Muted them.
The other thing we're non-performing is the Hiram Trail leg, because Moreland Hills did not agree.
No, Hiram can't.
See it, yeah, combination of Hiram House, Moreland Hills, and the school, our thought was to get into the back entry of the school, but that's not going to happen. So we'll non-perform that as well.
It might have been Anna that muted Bob.
All right. Well, thanks, Bob. That's really all my comments. So move on to comments and reports. Mrs. Perry.
I have no report. I just want to say thank you all for carrying on without me last week. I appreciate it.
It was hard.
I'm sure it was.
All right.
It was for a good reason, though.
Oh, you got the doggy.
Yeah,
Where is it?
she's sleeping. Say hi.
Oh,
That's Lena.
Yep, she's had 2 days of work at University Hospitals, and she's doing a great job.
it's awesome. Thanks. Mr. Silver.
Quick question for Bob Zugan on the trails that they're working on now. Are they going to be doing anything right in front of Romano Nursery, or just leaving that kind of open and it's just kind of use at your own risk as you cross through their parking lot?
I
Basically,
think we're
it's staying
painting
the way-
lines.
Yeah, it's staying the way it is. We're going to do some striping there, but with the challenges we have is because in front of Romano's is a parking area, and by the time you put a car there in its spots, you're really pushing the traffic there. So it's going to stay the way it is, and the aprons are just going to come up to the existing asphalt.
Okay, yeah, and their sign extends right to the street too, so it's kind of a tricky area.
We had discussion about that, and they're grandfathered in with their signage. If we would have moved that, we would have been down that whole signage through planning and zoning.
Yeah. Okay. One thing I have regarding the discount program for residents at local businesses, Stacy and I had a Zoom call on Friday with, I think it's someone that works in PR at Pinecrest, and she said she thinks she can get a pretty good buy-in from Pinecrest businesses for something along these lines. So we're going to touch base with her in a couple of weeks after she's had a chance to touch base with some of the businesses at Pinecrest. I think Stacy and I are going to reach out to some of the non-Pinecrest businesses as well, just to gauge their level of interest if this is something we can move forward with. We're hoping tentatively to have something maybe rolled out. For
You
the
know,
holiday.
the printing and everything is going to be expensive.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're just kind of gauging interest at this point. It's a lot of unknowns at this point, but I think it's something we do want to
Unless they
start.
can do it digitally. We can send it out in our e-news to our residents.
We talked about a digital possibility too. We're waiting to see what everybody else says. But Brian, I think you were about to say too, just that we're thinking of doing something for the holidays and making it like orange for the holidays to give everybody kind of a time frame on what we're looking for, and also encourage people to shop local for the holidays.
I wanted to call it "I'm Dreaming of an Orange Christmas," but I don't think that'll work.
I like that. I like that a lot.
That's hilarious.
That's all that I had.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Comment?
Nothing to report.
No. Next is Mr. Klein.
Hi, everybody. I just want to thank all of you who got back to me in regards to the letters that I sent out to Senators Portman and Brown regarding the Save Our Stages Act. We had a pretty good response, not only from Orange, but from the other communities where this was shared. And we'll see if it does any good down the road. And it went out on Tuesday of this week, and yesterday it went in the mail, and we'll see what we hear back from the senators. And no planning commission report right now, because our next meeting is next week. No, the week after next. And so no news to report there.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Vincent.
Thank you. I will throw out a couple other names. Sweet Orange, Orange Zest, Simple Orange, Orange for the Holidays, Orange Glad that this list is now done. So if you have any clever names, please let us know. I do have a quick question, or actually more of a sort of comment, maybe Anna can answer or the mayor can answer. There was a lot of questions about with the flooding that went on, call and who's the right person to deal with that. And just to,
Bob Zugan's dealing with it. He's working with Woodbrand. He's calling most of the residents that either called us or complained on that website that won't let me on.
I just figured we put it out there so everyone knows who to go to rather than, have them.
Mr. Zugan, they go to you.
Yeah, I will simply put anybody that's in Orange Tree, Orangewood, Waterford, Cambridge, Oxford, they all go to Woodbrand.
Landerwood Glen.
If it Landerwood Glen, and if it's something I can't, it's as easy as this. Anything inside a house goes to sanitary. Everything outside a house goes to storm. Everything within your home needs to go treated. So if you're not in there, you're in the county, which would be Orange Hill and the Lakes of Orange. Everybody else basically in the village has septic systems. So everybody in Orangewood that had problems within their house has basically been coming back to sanitary related issues. The flooding we had, I brought our foreman in and he witnessed that we had high levels in the sanitary manholes and our storms were open and running. The other minor complaints we had were all related to the trail where we had silt fence in catch basins, which is required by our code to stop infiltration of debris into the storm sewers while grass establishes. So, you know, I've talked to the mayor, anticipates residents reaching out to the village about the sanitary issues in Orangewood. Some have explained that this is repeat issues and stuff, but as it stands now, Woodbrand is a private utility. It's not managed by Orange Village. So expect more to move forward with complaints and stuff because obviously—
Bob's in touch with the people at Woodbrand, and I will be talking to Randy about other matters, and I will talk about this as well when he's back to work. His mother just passed away. Bob Zugan is the one.
Yeah, it might be worth in your call this week, Kathy, just to, you know, do a one line, just like what Bob said, of if it's inside, you go here, if it's outside, it goes here, just something to clarify to maybe lessen the calls that come into Village Hall. So a lot of people are just looking to know where to turn. So maybe a line about that would help.
Anna, taking notes? Did you just write that down?
She said, what? I'm sorry. Sign language.
We'll get something out.
Thank you.
Anna will work. We'll get something into the newsletter.
Perfect.
Or Friday's call.
Yeah. Just to let everybody know, and this did go out in the e-newsletter as well, the schools are doing a Facebook Live event Thursday, tomorrow evening at 6. They're going to update on the first few weeks of remote learning and also field questions about a future possibility of a hybrid return. So if anyone's interested, you can submit questions in advance, or you can submit questions tomorrow night live, but they will answer questions based on who submitted them first, and then go from there. It runs about 45 minutes. I want to thank whoever it was that was responsible for the return of the dancing children. It was so nice to see them as I went down Lander Road today, and that was a great thing. And just one final note, with the upcoming commemoration of Patriots Day this Friday, I just want to once again salute all of our incredible first responders and thank you all for the difference you continue to make in our community. We appreciate all you do. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I think that's all. So I will make a motion to adjourn. There's a second by anyone?
Seconded.
All right, thank you, Stacy. And Anna, please call roll.
Klein,
Yes.
Comet,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Silver,
Yes.
Duber.
Yep. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Right.
Right.
Let's see the puppy again.
Okay. If you insist.